The essence of this particular video is to establish mathematically the candidate who legitimately won the presidential election which was conducted last year, February 25, 2023. Subsequent videos after this particular one shall be used to establish who shall become the president of Nigeria come 2027. Now, in achieving this particular one, we shall be considering sets of simultaneous equations which represent the three most esteemed and celebrated political parties system we have within the confinement or municipality of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, upon which the will of the destiny of we Nigerians are driven as an independent nation. Of course, we all know the three most dominant political party system. I speak of the APC, the PDP, and the Labour Party. So in achieving this, we shall consider three sets of simultaneous equations representing these three most highly celebrated, esteemed, and dominant political party system. So for instance, we say, let X represent the political party system known as APC. Let Y represent the political party system known as PDP. And of course, let Z represent the political party system known as the Labour Party. So from this, we can establish three sets of simultaneous equations representing these three esteemed political party system. So in this we have AX, PX, CX plus PY plus DY plus PY plus LZ plus PZ plus dash, and that is equals to G equals to W equals to G, which represents Nigeria, the green, white, green flag. So with this we have AX, PX, or AS plus PY plus LZ is equals to G, representing green. Then PS plus DY plus PZ is equals to W, which represents white. And of course CX plus PY plus dash is equals to green, which represents G, which represents green in our national flag. Now, to proceed further, we have to establish the relationship that does exist between alphabet and numbers, otherwise called numerals, and it is known as numerology. In numerology, we are made to understand that A, don't forget, is equals to 1, B is equals to 2, C is equals to 3, D is equals to 4, E is equals to 5, F is equals to 6, G is equals to 7, H is equals to 8, I is equals to 9, then J is equals to 10, K is equals to 11, L is equals to 12, the M is equals to 13. Then proceeding forth, we have N is equals to 14, O is equals to 15, P is equals to 16, Q is equals to 17, R is equals to 18, X is equals to 19, T is equals to 20, U is equals to 21, V is equals to 22, W is equals to 23, X is equals to 24, Y is equals to 26, and of course we have Z is equals to Y is equals to 25, and Z is equals to 26. These are the alphanumeric relationship that does exist between alphabet and of course numbers, otherwise called numerals. Now, putting into consideration this relationship, we can therefore establish what is called an algebraic equations that does exist in this three system of simultaneous equation representing the three most esteemed political parties we have in Nigeria. So at this point in time, in the place of A, we are meant, in the place of A, we are to introduce 1. In the place of P, we are to use 16. In the place of C, we are to use 3, and so on and so forth. So let's proceed. representing this. So we have a what x becomes equals to what 1x, right? Then you have what p what s becomes equals to 16 what x, and you have cs is equals to what 3x. So also we have what p what y we give us what 16y. You have what dy we give us what 4 what y, and p what y again we give us what 16 what y. Then we have l what z we give us what is what l here? We have that is 12 what z. Then we have what pz we give us what 16 what z. Now let's what introduce all of these what parameters into the three sets of simultaneous equation we obtained previously. When we do that, we're going to be having an equation of this what form, which is what ax, that is what 1x plus what 1x. We have what 16 what x. Then we have what 3 what x plus what 16 what x plus what 4x plus what 16 what x plus what 12 what z plus what 16 what z plus 0 or not, and that is equals to our green white green. Like I told you before, g is what numerically interpreted as what 7. So in the place of what green, we're going to have 7. In the place of what white, that is what w, and that is equivalent to what 23. Then in the place of what the green again, we're going to have what 7. So this is equation 1, this is equation 2, and of course this is equation what 3. So these are the three sets of what simultaneous what equation algebraically. So let's solve for these three sets of equation, looking for the value of what x, the value of what this is 1x, 16x, 3x. So this ought to be what 16y, 4 what y, and of course what 16 what y. So we're going to be solving for what the values of the unknown variables x, y, and what z, which of course represent the three political party system. X being representing APC, y being used to represent PDP, and of course z being used to represent or depict what the Labour Party system. So let's solve simultaneously to obtaining this value. Now we can use different method in addressing or obtaining the value of what x, y, and z, but I want to actually adopt one particular method which we call the matrix method. So using the matrix method, we are going to have delta, and that is equals to, now considering just only what the numerals, we have 1, 16, and 3. Then on the next column, we're going to have 16, 4, and 16. Then the next one is 12. Then you have 16. And of course this is nothing, and that is 0. So going by the principle or the rules of matrix, by the time we simplify this, we are going to be obtaining an expression of this nature. I think we're going to be obtaining an expression of what next form, that is delta is equals to, and next thing, that is first row, first column, that will give us 1 into bracket, and you have 4 times 0. You have 4 times 0, that will give us 0 minus 16 times 16 times 16. Then you have minus, okay, that is first row, second column, minus 16 into bracket, minus 16 into bracket, 16 times 0, that is 0 minus 16 times 3, that is 48. Then finally you have blocks, first row, third column, leaving behind, you have 12 into bracket, 16 times 16, 16 times 16, minus 4 times 3, which is 12. Therefore, delta is equals to, by the time you simplify this, you are going to be obtaining 3040 as the value of the determinant of these three sets of simultaneous equation. Now, to obtain for x, what do? We have to use this particular constant in this particular equation to represent what is called the third column. When we do that, that is taking off this now, we're going to have 7 23 and what 7. Yes, 7, 23 and what 7. When you do that, you will obtain the value of what x. We're going to obtain the value of what x, that is 7. 23, 7 is used to represent x, so we're going to obtain the value of what x. So in this case, we shall be changing this from delta to delta what 1. So when you do that, you're going to have what delta 1, that is delta what 1 becomes what. And let's go now, just like we did in obtaining this becomes what first row first column, first row first column, and that is what 1 into bracket 4 times 7 is 20 what 8 minus 23 times 16, 23 times what 16. Then the next one is plus first row second column, and that is what 16 into bracket. All right, now 16 times 7, we have 16 times 7 minus 23 times 3, 23 times 3. So then finally we have what, okay, this ought to be what minus, then finally we have plus first row third what column, and that will give us 7 into bracket first row third column, that is 16 times 16 minus 3 times 4, 16 times 16 minus 3 times what 4. So when you do that, you are going to have delta 1 to be equals to what 4080. You can confirm using your what calculator. All right, so having what established that delta 1 is equal to 480, the next which I've been looking for now is for what the next variable, which is for what y. So in order to obtain what that, we shall what remove this constant and bring back the original constant that was there before, which is 12, 16, and of course 12, 16, and of course what 0. Then replace this particular one with what the constant, which is what 7, 23 and what 7. When we do that, automatically this particular one changes to what delta what 2, which now is representing what y. So we have delta 2 to be equal to, just like what we did in getting this and this, we're going to be repeating it, or kind of what reintroducing it fundamentally to get our what delta 2. So when you do that, it is what first row first column, and we are going to be having 1 into bracket first row first column, that is 23 times 0 is 0 minus what is left is 16 times what 7 minus 16 times what 7. So when you do that, you have minus. Now the next one is first row second column, and that is equal to 7 into bracket first row second plus 16 times 0 is 0 minus 16 times 3, and that is what 48. Then plus first row third column, and that will give us 12 into bracket 16 times 7, 16 times what 7 minus 23, 23 times what 3. So by the time you simplify this, you are going to be obtaining delta 2 to be equals to 740. 7 what 40. That is delta 2 will give us what 7 what 40. Sorry, 760. 7 what 60. You can as well confirm that, validate it by using your calculator over there. So delta 2 will give us what 7 what 60. The next which I've been looking for now is what delta what 3. Delta 3. How do we obtain delta 3? Now to obtain what delta 3, we are going to be replacing this with the original content, which is what 16 4 16. Then we'll be replacing this with what the constant, which is 7 23 what 7. So I'll do that automatically. This changes to what delta 3. Therefore, we have delta what 3 to be equals to first row first column, first row first column, and that is 7 into bracket what 4 times 0 is 0 minus 16 times 16, and 16 times what 16. Then minus again first row second column. So we have what 16 into bracket first row second column, and that is what 23 times 0 0 minus 16 times what 7, 16 times what 7. Then plus into bracket, sorry, plus first row third column, and that is going to be what intersecting with what 12 into bracket first row third column, that is 23 times 16, 23 times what 16 minus 4 times 7, which is what 28. So by the time you simplify this, you are going to be obtaining delta 3, which is standing for what the z, that is delta 3 will now be equivalent to what, to give us 640. So we have 3 what values now for the determinant. We have 4 values now, one for the determinant, which is delta, then we have for delta 1, delta 2, and of course delta 3. Now we have at this point in summary that what delta is equals to what 3040, delta 1 is equals to what 4080, delta 2 is equals to 760, then we have delta 3 is equals to what 640. These are the three values. This one is for the determinant, and this one is for what x, this one is for what y, and of course this is for what z. Having gotten to this point, what we do next is to look for what is called the ratio of each, in other words the percentage ratio of each of these political party system being represented with x, y, and what z, x, y, and z. So starting with a very what fox one known as the APC. Let's start with what APC. Let's get explicitly the value of what x, y, and z. Let's obtain the value of x, y, and z explicitly. So having gotten what this particular what constant for the determinant, and delta 1, delta 2, and delta 3, what is the value of the variable x? Now remember, x is standing for what? APC. So therefore s is equals to, take note of that, delta 1 all over the determinant, and that is equals to, what is delta 1 we obtained? That is equivalent to 4080 all over the determinant, which is equal to what? 3040. So by the time you simplify, you are going to be obtaining 1.1860. That is the value of what? X. Now what about for what? Y. Remember, y stands for PDP. PDP. To obtain that, that will be equivalent to what? For PDP is delta 2. You have delta 2 all over what? The determinant. Automatically that becomes what? Delta 2 is what? 760 all over the constant determinant, which is 3040, and that will give us what? That will give us, I think that will give us 0.2151. Yes, you can confirm that, 0.2151. So the next one that is left is for what? The Labour Party Z, and that becomes what? Delta 3 all over the determinant, and that will give us what? Delta 3. Delta 3 is what? 640. 6 what? 40 all over the total, which is 3040, and that will give us 0.1977. 0.1977. 0.1977. In case you couldn't see it clearly, let me put it at the bottom here. So in summary, we're going to be obtaining the value of x to be 1.1860. The value of y is what? 0.2151, and the value of what z, which is for the Labour Party, is what? 0.1977. So these are the values of the unknown variables, either x, y, and z, as used in the system of simultaneous equation to represent the three most extreme political party we have in Nigeria, which is what? APC being represented with X, PDP being represented with Y, and of course the Labour Party being represented with what? The alphabet word Z. Having gotten the value of X, Y, and Z, what we do next is to estimate what is called the percentage ratio for each of these political party system. For APC, how do we get it? For APC, it is equals to what? The x over what? X plus what? Y plus what? Z. When you do that, you're going to obtain, let's go, we're going to obtain, okay, let's take it to this point so that you can get it very well. Okay, yes, for APC, I say that it for what? APC, the percentage ratio is equals to what? X divided by X plus what? Y plus what? Z. When you do that, you're going to obtain, what is the value of X we obtain? It is 1.18610 divided by the total, which is X again, 1.1860 plus 0.2151 plus what? We have 0.1977. When you do that, you're going to obtain a value for what? The APC, the percentage value for what? APC, and that is equals to what? We have 0.1764. Sorry, 0.17 what? 84. 0.1784. Yes. This divided by the total will give you 0.1784. Now let's go for the next one. That is for PDP. For PDP to give us what? That is y all over x plus what? Y plus what? Z. And that will produce what is for PDP 0.2151 all over the total, which is what? 1.1860 plus 0.2151, and of course plus what? 0.1977. So finally for PDP we are going to be obtaining 0.3145. You can press your calculator for validation. 0.3145. Then for the Labour Party, for what? The Labour Party, we're going to be obtaining, that is, that will give us what? Z all over the total, x plus what? Y plus what? Z. So when you do that, you're going to be obtaining what is Z? 0.1977 all over 1.1860 plus, what is the next one? 0.2151 plus 0.1977. So by the time you carry out the arithmetic manipulation, you are going to be having for what? The Labour Party 0.123 and of course 7. So these are the percentage what? Ratio, otherwise called these are the ratio of the three political parties. So let me give you a summary of them. A ratio, starting with the APC, percentage ratio. The percentage ratio for each of them. For what? APC, we calculated it to be equals to what? We got what? 0.1784. Now for what? PDP, we got what? 0.31x, 0.31445. Now for what? The Labour Party, we got 0.123 So these are the percentage ratio for each of what? The political party 16. Let's proceed further now. What next do we do? Is to what? Use these values obtained principally to get what? The highest number of voters that are attributed to each of the political party. Yes, with the knowledge of this percentage ratio, we can now validate authentically that political candidate or the political party that actually got the highest number of voters in the presidential election, like I said before, which was conducted last year, February 25, 2023. But before we do just that, let us reflect back to the statistical report of what the INEC, otherwise known as the Independent National Electoral Commission, talking about what the electoral body that is in charge of conducting election within the municipality or the domain of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Prior to the February 25, 2023 presidential election, it was reported by this body that the total number of registered personal voters card that they were having in their possession was 93,460,000,000 voter card, otherwise called PVC, personal voters card. So working with these particular statistics, with the help of these values obtained, come up or estimate mathematically the candidates or the respective numerical values of each of the political parties, and consequently using the outcome to predict the one who actually legitimately won the February 25, 2023 presidential election that was conducted here in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So let's go straight to do that. Starting with the APC. Starting with the APC, we have for what? Total. Let's use the total number of voters. Are you there? For what? APC. The total number of voters for APC will now be equal to what? The ratio of APC, which happens to be 0.17814 times the total number of registered voters card. So therefore, APC will give us 0.17814 times the total number of personal registered voters card is 93,460,000. 460,000. And by the time you press your calculator, we're going to be obtaining what is 69 or 63,328,628,000 votes, which is attributed to the APC political party. Now, for what the PDP, it is estimated to be, okay, let's go, it is 0.31415 times what? 93,460,000 voters cards. So by the time you press your calculator, PDP, we end up having a total number of votes, which is equivalent to 12,570,370,000 votes. And finally, it's for the Labour Party. For the Labour Party, now the total number of votes is equivalent to, and listing, which is 0.12317 times 93,460,000 votes. So by the time you press your calculator, you're going to be obtaining 11,561,002 votes and votes. So in the end of the mathematical manipulation, you come to the realization that APC, emerged from that particular presidential election which was conducted in Nigeria with the total number of 63,328,628 votes. PDP emerged with a total number of 12,570,370 votes, whereas the Labour Party emerged with a total number of 11,561,002 votes. Consequently, going by this report obtained, one can therefore adjudge or conclude or infer that the winner of the presidential election which was conducted within the municipality of the Federal Republic of Nigeria last year, February 25, 2023, is no other political candidate than the candidate known or who goes by the name as Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu won the February 25, 2023 presidential election which was conducted in Nigeria. For now, I rest my case. In my subsequent video, we shall be establishing also mathematically the one who shall emerge as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria come 2027 presidential election. Love you. Please don't forget to share this video, like this video, comment, and of course spread it to every nook and cranny of your platform. God bless you. Bless you.